First run of the week, 16 weeks until Manchester Marathon. God, time goes quickly. Doesn't sound that many if you say it too quickly. 16 weeks is not long at all. Oh well. First run after Sunday's Sandringham Half Marathon. Legs are pretty tired. Didn't do anything yesterday. Monday was a rest day. And we go again, a new week. Down Cuckoo Hill this time, into Workwell, back up Redden Hall, and then Cook's Lane and home. That's the route for today, except my bloody lace has come undone. What's that all about? My lace come undone. Stop that. Sometimes Hoka have these silly little thin laces and they do come undone a bit too easily. We're off again. Here we go, down Cuckoo Hill. So I've been thinking back about Sandringham Half. Really pleased with how it went, to be honest. 1:37, the same time that I did Blickling Half in, what, 3 weeks earlier. And Blickling was a fairly flat, a little bit undulating half marathon, and this one was like 11 miles off-road, forest tracks, moss, muddy puddles, tree roots. So the effort was the same and the pace was the same. So I reckon if it had been road, I would have been probably 7:15, maybe 7:10 miling rather than 7:30 on the trail. So really pleased how that went. Fitness is definitely on its way back, and that's cool. Love it. Excited about that. And I'm excited about this week because I've got the first of our newly formed Halston Running Club runs going out on Thursday. So that's a club that I've kind of pushed through into existence, got a committee together, going for UKA affiliation, and hopefully setting up. It's a useless fact for you. Maybe I'll put it in every video. This is my 2007 London Marathon vest t-shirt that I got from the expo just before doing my first ever marathon. It's still holding itself together, just about, a bit threadbare, a few repairs, but they're still working. A bit like me, I guess. What a lovely evening for a run. Cloudy, a little bit cooler. I thought it was going to rain, but I don't think it is. We're coming up to 3 miles in. I'm looking forward to my dinner. This is another path that we discovered out for a dog walk.
Good for like technical trails, good practice in this kind of stuff.
It really is. Look at this bit, look.
Bite in my mouth.
Yeah, eat a few caterpillars. Whoop! Just going past the Ersham Vineyards on my Saturday 8 miles. 8 miles easy today, 40 miles coming up tomorrow. So a quick update. Thursday's run, the plan was 2 miles easy and then 11-minute blocks of 7:30, 7:20, 7:10. The 2 miles easy I incorporated into my very first Halston Running Club run that I led. So I actually did a 5k, very nice and easy, 11-minute miles or something. Made that my warm up, and then after that went straight into the 3 by 11 minute continuous efforts. So it's fabulous to have our first club run going out. Fully booked, 12 people all signed up through the Run Together app, under my coaching running fitness qualification. So nice little 5k loop of Harleston, lots of breaks, stops, explaining how running clubs work, that sort of stuff. Really lovely, but quite stressful to lead your first run as a run leader in a new club. So we're out in agricultural Suffolk now. We've got the pig fields on one side, and then, as you've just seen, we've just gone past the vineyards on the other side. So it's really hot and muggy today, really humid. Trying to slow my recovery pace down for the conditions, but it's a lovely patch of shade I've just found here now. Heading back towards Bungay, and then I'm doing a second loop out the other side of Bungay. So this is a well-used, well-worn Bungay running club route that I used to do all the time, leading runs for many years. But it's nice to be closing that book and starting a fresh and new one with Harleston Running Club. All new routes to plan, all new people to work with, track sessions coming up, that sort of stuff. So it's really exciting. But I will just have to find a better way of fitting my Thursday training run in with the club run. So I'll probably have to do them separately. I think I'll probably get my training run out of the way in the morning, and then do the club run in the evening as a bit of a wind down recovery. That'll work better than what I did this week, which wasn't ideal, but you know, it got done. And it was a rest day yesterday. So just to finish off this week's video, Saturdays and Sundays runs are done. Saturdays I took the camera with me. You may have seen the clips just then that it wasn't as easy as I felt it should be. It was very humid, it was very warm and muggy. I didn't sleep particularly well the night before, and so I was really worried, to be honest, about Sunday's run. Saturdays was 8 miles at about 8:40 pace, and it was tough. I found it hard. Yet Sunday's run, the one I've just done, was going to be 3 miles at warm-up pace, 8:30, 8.5 miles at 7:45s, and then 2.5 miles at cool-down pace. So again, back to 8:30, 8:40ish. But knowing how hard Saturday's run had been, I was really worried about it, and I don't suppose it helped that we went out for an Indian last night, and I had 2 cans of cider, and I've not had 2 cans of cider in one evening for probably about 5 years, but I felt fine. Just was worrying about the run. I had lots of rice and lots of naan bread with my Indian, so I was very carved up. And the first 3 miles, well, I planned for the 14 miles, I planned 7 miles out, 7 miles back, all very flat. A run I've done lots of times before, so it's from Harleston out towards Workwell and Ersham, and it's all very flat. 7 mile point, turn around, come back again. And the first 3 miles of warm up, I was running at 8:45s, thinking this is quite tough. I don't know if I'm going to get through 8.5 miles of 7:45. I've got to find a minute a mile quicker. So anyway, I got into it. I got into the first mile. It was into a headwind. The whole of the out section was into a headwind. So the first 4 miles, I knew it was a headwind. My legs felt okay, but I didn't seem to be able to run hard enough to get my heart rate up. My heart rate just wouldn't go up above about 165, I suppose. It was tough into the headwind, and so I just settled into about 7:55, 7:53, 7:51, So a little bit above my target of 7:45, but not drastically so. And I knew I was into a headwind, I knew it was humid, and I thought, well, you know, if I'm 10 seconds a mile outside my target, that's not too disastrous into a headwind on a muggy day. So I got into the third mile of the 8.5 and thought, you know what, I don't think I can do 8.5 miles at this pace. I'll maybe just turn around at 3 miles and make it 6 miles or 6.5 miles rather than 8.5 miles. It was a real mental battle to keep going. I wasn't finding it physically hard. I was just really, really tired. Not been having a few good nights of sleep, really. Lots of worries and stress about work and COVID and people coming out of lockdown and people getting vaccinations and just lots of stuff going on. And I don't think that combined with the lack of sleep just means I'm just tired and fatigued and a bit run down, I guess. Anyway, I got into the third mile and then I thought, you know what, I've only got one more mile of this to get to the halfway point, and I know I'm going to have a tailwind on the way back, so I'll just keep going. And I got to the turnaround point. I think I did it in about 7:50 for the fourth of the 8.5 miles. And I'm thinking, actually, I'm on the turnaround, I've got tailwind all the way back, I'm 5 seconds outside my target pace. That's not too disastrous. So I got to the turnaround point, I turned around and headed for home with a tailwind. And I think I did 7:48 and then 7:45 and then 7:40 maybe and 7:38. And I started to think, actually the tailwind is making up for the headwind. It doesn't always fully do that, but I managed to probably bring the overall pace back to 7:45s, and I got into the last half a mile of the 8.5 miles, and I had to slow myself down really to to not be under 7:30. And heart rate was still okay. Heart rate is still about 168, 170-ish, which is fine. And I got into the cool down, 2.5 miles at 8:45s, feeling pretty fab. I took a torque gel with me. I took some small silicone squeezy bottles of water. I carried them both. I dropped one by the road at about 4 miles out, because it went out and back. I could then pick it up when I came back again. So I had water on the route, which I tend to do where I can. And I got into the cool down feeling really, really pleased with myself, because it had been a real struggle, a real mental struggle to get the run done, and I didn't think I was going to do it. But to get to the point where I knew I'd cracked the big 8.5 mile block in the middle, and I was into the cool down, and my heart rate was coming back down again, back down to 157 or so in the cool down. God, it's a good feeling when you don't think you can do something and you win that mental battle on the way, you know. The rest of the day you're kind of buzzing, because I could have given up, I could have cut the run short, I could have just not bothered, you know. I lay in bed thinking I'm not going to be able to do this, and it's a real good feeling to have known you're struggling, to battle through, to beat the demon on your shoulder telling you just to quit, not bother, do something else. And I got home really pleased with myself, and I still am. I'm probably in for a pretty good Sunday now, feeling pretty fabulous. I've completed my 46 mile week. I had a race last Sunday which was really tough. I've nailed all the sessions through the week, and I'm good to go again. So I'm pretty pleased with myself overall. A good week, and I'm ready for the next one. So that was the end of the 15 weeks to go video. I may have said 16 weeks at the beginning of it, but it's 15 weeks to go. So the next video will start with 14 weeks to go. God, the weeks go so quickly, it's terrifying. But thank you for watching. Thank you for those of you who have sent me comments telling me you're enjoying the journey. I really do appreciate it. It does make a real difference, you know, to know that people are watching it. I'm doing these videos partly as a challenge to myself, you know. I'm not super comfortable and confident behind the camera, but I'm really seeing it as a nice little personal challenge, and life is about having personal challenges and stretching your abilities and stretching your comfort zone, and that's what I'm doing this for. And if people are enjoying it along the way, then I'm really, really pleased, so thank you for that. Stay tuned for the next one. Fire in any comments, messages, thoughts. I'm always happy to help if you're on a similar journey, so thank you, and I'll see you soon.